Hey, what up guys, welcome to part 2. In this video we're going to be doing some wiring. As you can see, in part 1 we installed the seats in, so the second part is going to be us doing some wiring and trying to get a cooled seats installed. So this is the brackets that I made in part 1. Part 2 requires all these wires and some wiring to be done. So if you're interested how to get cooled seats in '03 Mustang, so watch and let me know what you think. I got a couple of things here to make this installation easy for us. This is what we made in part 1. These are the brackets, so I highly recommend if you want to check that out. In order for these seats to work, you need a voltage regulator. Voltage regulator needs to drop the volts from 12 volts down to 8. These seats require 8 volts at high setting, which is like high cool, and they drop down by half a volt, go down to 7 volt, but we're just gonna keep them at 8 volt and kind of run it at high because who needs a medium setting. And I got some relays right here, some connectors, and I got 2 switches. This we're gonna install on the dash with some quick connect, disconnect. So basically just gotta run a few wires and then the wiring on the bottom of the seat. So hope you like it. If you like what you see, give me the thumbs up. And let's get to it. All right guys, this is a quick breakdown on how seats work and what we're gonna do to them. This is gonna be a driver's side seat on the bottom. That's a passenger side seat. The driver's side seat has 2 connectors. This is the main connector, brings in the power for power control seats, and a module. There's 2 grounds, and then there's are the controllers for from a sink to the module, and then obviously 2 of these wires are gonna be airbag and a seatbelt light. So let's say you have a sink 3, you send the signal in from your sink to a module. You select heater or cool seats. The module sends requested volts to a thermoelectrical cooling device and a motor. And then let's say you set it at a high, it blows at 8 volts. So the motor spins and goes to thermal cooling device. And then that thing either cools or heats. So the thermal cooling device, how they work is you either send power one way or the other way. So let's say you send the power one way, one side is gonna get cooled and the other side is gonna get heated. So like let's say you reverse the power to the thermoelectrical cooling device, now the other side is gonna get heat and the other side is gonna get cooled. So that's how it gets cooled or heated seats. So like let's say you select a cooled seats, the motor sucks air through here, blows it. One half goes in the seat, one half goes outside under the seat. So the cooled part will go in the seat, the hot air will come out through here. All right, since we don't have a sink 3 to control our module, we're gonna bypass this guy right here and wire everything directly to thermal cooling devices and motors. There are 2 of these in each seat. One is gonna be located on the bottom. The second one is gonna be located on the backrest. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to wire these guys hopefully off one of these connectors where I can run both at the same time. So these things require 8 volts. If you run 12 volts to them, they get like really loud. So they push more air and you just notice them, they're too loud. So that's why we're gonna need a voltage regulator or voltage step down. I did my research and seems like there are 2 connectors we're gonna have to splice out of the module. The gray one is gonna be thermoelectrical devices. This is just for a driver's side. I mean, there's wires going to passenger, but since they're not connected, we're not gonna be splicing into a passenger for this one. And then in this one, there are the motors. Same thing, there's 2 motors in this seat. We're gonna be splicing it out of here, and thermoelectrical devices we're gonna be splicing out of the gray one. And I did my cheat sheet, and looks like for the motors, this is the driver's seat and this is driver's seat backrest. So brown and green is going to be a positive for motor, gray and orange is negative, and then gray is positive and gray and orange is negative. The motors are sharing one negative ground. And for thermoelectrical devices, this is just the cooling side. I'm not doing the heating, so just the cooling side. So blue and orange are positive, yellow and blue are negative. And then white and violet are positive, gray and violet are negative. So next step is going to be getting all the positives and soldering them together, and all the negatives doing the same thing. So all the positives in one connection and all the negatives into one connection. And that's going to be on a relay. And here's a breakdown for a passenger. Remember those two connectors? This one is coming from a driver's side seat from module, but we don't have a module, so we're gonna manually connect it. And the cheat sheet for that one is gonna be brown and blue for motor, positive, while and white is negative, blue and white is positive, while and white are negative. So the way I have it set up is passenger seat, this means like the bottom, the cushion where you sit, and this is the backrest. Same thing for this one. This is the bottom and this is the backrest. So for thermal electrical devices, blue is going to be positive, gray and blue is going to be negative, white is going to be positive, and blue and brown is going to be negative. So same thing, we're going to combine all the positives together into one splice and all the negatives into one. everything has been provided, same as on this list. The motor, 2 positives are going into 1, and the negative is just extended. Both of these are extended to reach the thermoelectrical device. Then I have them going into a connector, and then the connector will be connected to a voltage regulator or voltage drop. And then this thing will be connected to, right now it's connected to the battery from the car, but it will be connected to a relay. So once I hit the relay, we'll power this guy up and we'll start working, and then everything else will be working. So everything is on right now. And the good thing about this guy, you can adjust voltage right here, and you can adjust the amps right here. This is a 20 amp voltage drop regulator, so I have it all the way to the max, because the seat is drawing about 6.3 amps, so which is good. And here is the voltage. As you can see right here, it's driving 7.8. I set it 7.8, so it's not as fast. And the seat has been cooling for a while. Right now, let's hit it right here. So it's like 95 in the garage. So if I hit it on the seat, you can see it's like 86. So it's dropping 86, depending on like where, if you sit on it, it's actually better. So definitely works, and definitely worth the effort. So same thing will be done on the passenger, and then everything will be pre-wired in the car to a switch. Here is my wiring, all done, pre-wired for both seats. This side is going to be a driver's side seat. This is a passenger side seat. The main connector, which will be connected under the driver's side, which is this one, has 2 powers and 2 negatives. One goes to the left seat, one goes directly to this connector. This connector will control the power seats. So this one is connected to on all the time, so you can adjust the seat whenever you want. This guy, cooled seats, are controlled by a switch. So for example, you hit the switch right here, you send the signal over, you turn the relay on, gets its main power, and goes through a buck converter, voltage drop regulator. Then this one goes to a seat and controls the seat. Now as for a passenger side, same story. You got a main connection. This is just to go from a driver's side to the passenger side. So it goes down here. Also, this connector is wired separately directly to the power on all the time, so you can adjust the seats whenever you want. Then you select the switch, the signal comes on, kicks on a relay, relay sends a power and sends through this guy, and then goes back to this connector where I have all the positives connected and all the negatives connected. That's how I'm going to control both of the motors. Yeah, so pretty much all done. Now I just have to install these guys on the bottom of the seat, because these do get a little bit hot, so I'm gonna keep it like in here, so it's that way it can cool itself down, and then put it back in the car and enjoy cool seats. there you go. The seats are installed and they feel fantastic. I couldn't be more happier. The bucket seats are way to go, and I got them cooled right now, so it's hella enjoyable. So thanks for watching part 1, part 2, and if you don't mind hitting that like button and subscribing, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.